Jay Weatherill has accused the Liberals of hiding the true extent of their budget cuts after the opposition released a savings plan borrowing heavily from Labor's last budget. It sets a target of almost $700 million, but details will have to wait until after polling day.
Talking up a new squadron of drones for the Edinburgh RAF base, Tony Abbott was flanked by the man he hopes will be Premier.
I am hopeful of being able to work constructively with Stephen Marshall as Premier.
The current Premier taking his battle bus across the new South Road Superway, stung by the snub.
The usual protocols would dictate that I would be invited to such a thing, but it's a bit of petty politics. I mean, that's what you'd expect.
Mr Weatherill's whole basis for re-election is that he wants to have a fight with Canberra. I don't want to stage a fight today.
But it was the Shadow Treasurer taking centre stage, unveiling the Liberals' long-awaited costings. Labor's claimed they've racked up more than $1 billion in promises. The Liberals say their new spending commitments total just $60 million to 2016-17, with recurrent spending totalling around $600 million, offset by savings of $685 million. The bulk of it predicated on Labor's own savings strategy.
We're adopting their number from the June 30th 2013 budget.
In fact, they pretty much follow Labor's plan to the letter.
We'd be returning surplus in the same year as the Labor Party proposed to return to surplus. Our position is exactly the same as the government on tenure.
That's despite this response to Labor's last budget.
Mr Weatherill's budget is bad for families, bad for business and bad for South Australia.
Welcome to the life of an opposition treasurer, Tom. I have a Treasury department of one person.
But if he takes over the whole department after Saturday, he'll still be taking independent savings advice from a productivity commission. The Premier says the Liberals are hiding their cuts and their leader.
Stephen Marshall is hiding today.
That's despite Kevin Foley, not Mike Rann, unveiling Labor's costings in 2002, 2006 and 2010.
It's delivered by the Treasurer or the Shadow Treasurer, and the Shadow Treasurer will be presenting our costings today.
And if Stephen Marshall doesn't want Ian Evans' job, the feeling is mutual.
Let me tell you something. I've been leader and I'm not ever taking my family back there.
And Tom joins us now from Parliament. Tom, how are the parties placed?
Well, one day of campaigning to go. We've had dirty tricks, we've had policy standoffs, and now some detail on how it all adds up. But the equation for the Liberals is win 6 seats off Labor and they'll win government. Now, the Labor Party is desperately campaigning in those seats it thinks it can hang on to deny Stephen Marshall an outright win. Seats like Elder, Newland, Colton, Mawson and Mitchell, just those 5 alone could be enough to hang on to minority government. So there is everything to campaign for over the next 48 hours. Back to you.
Thank you, Tom.